Hi, today is December 11th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1917 for the year, Parkin. His favorite thing to do was parkin in the cold. He'd put on his parka and hat and gloves and go down to the lot and start parkin and keep on parkin. Once the cars had all been parked, he'd get in each car and park it outside, and then he'd bring it on back to the lot. People thought he was batshit crazy, but he just liked parkin'. And people thought he was stupid or something, but he wasn't nothing except a guy who liked parkin'. Maybe someday he'll find another pastime. Maybe he'll find another way to find meaning in his ironically pedestrian life. But I wouldn't bet on anything like that happening anytime soon, because parkin' seems to be his raison d'etre, his end-all and be-all, his all and everything, his all or nothing, his ride or die, the sole and singular purpose in his life of Parkin. Poem number 1918, Pekin. His favorite thing to do was not peepin' like a peepin' Tom, or peekin' at people while pretending he wasn't, or when he took drugs and started peekin'. None of those were his favorite things. His favorite thing to do was when he woke up and found himself in Peking, which is how he pronounced Peking. This never actually happened because he didn't live in Peking and because it is now known as Beijing, but still, it was his favorite thing to do. Poem number 1919, Paintin'. My favorite thing to do is not paintin', but it's pretty high up there. The bliss that I get from paintin' is often even more ecstatic than the bliss I get from hot yoga or meditation. That's some pretty fucking ecstatic bliss. I haven't had that ecstatic paintin' bliss in a while. I've had plenty of other kinds of ecstatic bliss, but not the paintin' kind, so I reckon I ought to do some paintin' real soon. Poem number 1920, In Papery Flakes. I had been under the impression that the word exfoliate referred only to skin, but according to the OED, it means of a material come apart or be shed or to be shed from a surface in scales or layers. But then it gave this example. The bark exfoliates in papery flakes. And I thought, that is an awfully colorful phrase to toss off as an example of how to use the word exfoliate. I wondered whether it was from something, so I Googled it, and apparently it isn't. Some of those folks at the OED are really something. And last poem today, poem number 1921, A Little Mad. I'm a little mad at Tim Summer. He recently posted something about how apples and oranges doesn't make sense because how the phrase apples and oranges doesn't make sense because they are both small round fruits, and how it should be apples and something completely different. Like a ham, and how it should be apples and something completely unlike an apple, like a hammer. And I thought, not only is that completely right, but it sounds like something that I would think of. I guess it's unreasonable of me to be mad at Tim for thinking a thought that I should have thought of first. I really only have myself to blame. But still. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.